Hello, hello, hello. Morning, evening, afternoon, etc., etc. We're here. We're live. We're doing it. Coding. Harand, hello. I'm getting good. I'm getting good. I'm a professional streamer. I know when to press the button now. Harand, Daz, Matthias, Quacko, Julian. Hello, hello, hello. I think Connor's out there somewhere, vying for top YouTube commenting position. It's hot. It's hot. Well, we're going to be doing some command line arc parsing today, so basically the same level of abstraction, so I feel your pain. Just syscall. Just make sure you got the registers right. I have pressed the Discord button. The CPU cooler is not fixable. It just occasionally stops. Like, I don't really know how to go about diagnosing or fixing that, other than just, I know, throw it into the sea and getting you pooter. So we'll see. It doesn't happen that often, so we shall see. Interesting. Okay, I was just going to pass out argv, because that's just, in my mind, the best way to do it. But I think the point where I need it, but we'll get into this, is the point where I'd have it from argv anyway. So command line W, surely command line A. How wide is your wide string? Indeed. Okay, I'm getting. Let's do this. So there's an interesting thing I've realized. Let me run this. Is there no command line A? Does it not? Oh well, I'm not, because I'm definitely not fuffing around with Mustica Wums and Worcester Wers and wide to multi and multi to wide. Ain't doing that. I guess that's how infrequently I use it. Am I planning on making the game compatible with all OSs and consoles, or just Windows 11? Just Windows 11 to start with. Like, as a one-man band trying to do all this live, I have to kind of pick and choose my battles. I think porting it to another OS might be fun in the future. Fun question mark. But I think to make progress, Windows, and then people can use Wine. Okay. So we've got the game. Here it is. It loads, and you'll notice it very nicely fits the window here. The issue is that I only stream the top 25% of my monitor, and the rest of it is kind of like other MISC tools. So in order to make it better for streaming, what did I do? I set the game to always spawn in this quadrant of the screen, which, if you don't have a large monitor like me, if you're trying at home, probably means the window is going somewhere you don't expect it. So we should fix that. I'm undecided about live stream reverse engineering stuff. I think it could be interesting, but I kind of like doing both. I like doing the forward engineering and the reverse engineering, and in my mind, the videos are more reverse engineering and the live streams are more forward engineering. And they kind of, they attract different folks, and we have different goals, I guess, and different outcomes. So I'm kind of keeping them sort of separate at the moment, but I mean, never say never. I'm really committed on the live stream to try and get this project done, though, so I don't want to introduce anything more, because the next project is always more interesting than the current project, and I'm trying to keep that in mind. I haven't decided about audio yet. I'm going to cross that bridge when we get to it. I think that might be cool. I'd be quite interested in firing this up and having a poke around and seeing like how the optimized code became what it did. That might be quite fun. But yeah. Okay. So let's not do that. Let's do this. Let's do a bit of this, a bit of that. Hang on, where am I? I'm in the wrong Tmux window, that's why. I thought everything was a bit strange. Ignore me, I was doing some dabbling with some front-end stuff earlier. Game. So, somewhere where we create the window, I think we set the... Here, we set the... X and Y position. So I'm probably just going to take those as command line arguments. So when I'm running in the stream, I can just slap in -X, -Y, and then when you, but default to X like 0, 0 or something sensible. So if you're running at home, you can do what you want. My plan, so we already had, very early on, we had ImGUI integrated and we were controlling lights and stuff like that with it. My plan is to possibly bring that back. So my current short-term plan is, there is a tiny spider on my microphone. That's not part of the plan. That was ad hoc. Tiny spider. My plan now that I've resolved the spider issue is to fix up the command line arguments today and finish off the coroutine stuff hopefully today. Because we've done 2 streams on it now, I don't really want to do too much more. All that stuff's to do, quote, all, is just to integrate all the components with it. So actually write some coroutines that do something. I'm probably going to have one for the input, for the renderer, and for the level. I imagine just 3 coroutines just happily spinning away. And then I want to enable user levels that people can write in Lua and ship a sample Lua file that people can just edit and then reload the game. Maybe hot reloading, I haven't decided yet. We'll just see how far we get. Then I want to start tarting up some of the graphics. I want to get some assets and load them in because the game could do a bit of a refresh. We've been looking at that one skybox and purple checkered floor for quite some time. So I've got a rough idea. I think we might stick with the barrels because it's kind of funny. I have a asset for a warehouse, so I might try and get that loaded in, get all the textures loaded in, see how that all works. Maybe have to put some physics back in with the collision detection of the player. And then I think we'll see where we are from that, because then the 2 major things after that, well, the 3 major things after that are levels, like the actual content of the game, sound, and like text rendering, UI, menus, that kind of thing. So I might bash out maybe the text rendering first because I've done that before, and then really basically just push audio off for as long as possible. I really hope that the 3rd error typo there was deliberately done. So the game has levels. The levels has each level has a scene. The scene has entities, and I can't remember if the camera is part of the scene or if it's separate. And then and the player is part of that. So yeah. I do have a place where I store all my design decisions. Because I don't have any design decisions. I think when we start playing it, because I'm literally just doing all this live and figuring out as I go along, I try not to actually spend too much time thinking about this outside of the streams. Keeping it simple. If we don't need it, I'm not going to have it. Okay, so let's go back to game. Let's write some code. I think this is going to be a slightly in-depth refactor, but it's fine. And then we can go, so let's go to main. So we've got here argv. What I want to do is basically, I don't really want to talk in terms of this. I'm probably going to turn this into a map of, or a vector of string views, and then just pass them out. This is not going to be the best code I've written, because we could probably spend 2 or 3 streams writing like an absolutely incredible arg parser, which supports like multiple types and short names and long names and all that kind of stuff, and automatic type handling, and just a waste of time. I just need to just check if like -x is there, then the next thing looks like a number. So the only thing I might do, no, because we only need to check for 2 arguments. I'm just going to keep it simple. I was like, I could create a map and then loop through every other item and store the first one as the key, then the second one as the value, and then have it as optional if it's not there. But I just need to check if like -x and -y are there and default to the values otherwise. So let's treat ourselves. Okay, let's do some ranges. Still getting used to this new keyboard. Okay. So starting game, blah, blah, blah. And then we'll do, at some point as well, we need to add some system information so that it logs like your OS version, your CPU, your graphics card, just so if there's an issue, it gives me some idea of where to start debugging it. Yes, I've got Cherry MX Blues. So I'm not using Makefiles, I'm using CMake and Ninja. Yeah, we'll default to 0, 0. Okay, so let's do const auto args equals argv. And what's my pipe character when it's at home? Stirred views transform const auto e. Nope, that's not how any of this works. Return stirred string view e. Shift alt whatever, stirred ranges to stirred vector. Is that going to work for me? I bet it doesn't know the size of it. Can I do... Let's span const char star argv argc. Would that work? Where's me code? Where's me window? So this quick change will take most of the stream. So let's just set expectations now. Well, because C++ doesn't ship with a build system, like you have to learn one, right? It's kind of anything more than a single file. I don't... Oh, where did my code go? Let's see, what's the compiler say about this? Why is it not liking it? So I am always for more consumer rights. Okay, I think consumers should be empowered to have more rights in terms of what they choose to spend their hard-earned taxed money on. So I support Stop Young Games. I've signed the UK petition. Sadly, cannot sign the EU petition. Yeah, I think it's good initiative. I think legislation is hard, and I'd be interested to see how it kind of reified itself in the real world. Like I would say, I'm a pragmatist about it, but I definitely think it's a good idea. Like again, I'm always for more consumer rights. I think there's a lot of If you want drama, go to Reddit. Like, I'm not interested in the drama at all. I think there is a lot of misinformation around it, and I think I definitely had some of that misinformation myself until I spent some time kind of looking into it more. But yeah, it is what it is. Like I said. Why is this not building? Why am I having a bad time? My C++ is so bad. The build system has given up. Oh, good. We'll rebuild 133 translation units while we're there, just to be on the safe side. So yeah, I'm aware that there's loads of tools that and projects that already do kind of what I do, probably better. But part of the videos are obviously to breathe life into old games that don't work, but also a large part of the videos are to show people the techniques that you can use to solve these kind of issues. And I think a video of me just downloading a DLL and dropping it into a directory and running it is not as technically deep as I would like it to be. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. And if you want to get a game working, you should probably just pick something off the shelf. However, for me, the fun is in the challenge, is in the journey rather than the end result. So I would always rather, specifically for these kind of videos, sit down with a debugger and a decompiler and figure it out and then write the code myself, just to learn it myself and show people how you can solve these kind of problems, and where possible kind of open source it as well, so people have at least another reference point for these kind of things. But so yeah, cannot convert from initializers to function does not take two arguments. I'm pretty sure the constructor of a stud span does take two arguments. Like, am I going mad here? Oh, hang on. Am I... Is that why? I need to give it the... Because I'm giving it whatever type I've templated it on there. So I'm giving it... I don't think that's right. I'm sure I've got to give it... I will not write a loop. I will range as this. Yeah, data everything. I don't know why I was going on a mad one then. I just feel like in all these here... Yeah, this is... Oh, is it the Sentinel? So do I need to do argv plus argc? Do I give it the two... We could actually, yeah, you're right. We might be able to just use the the constructor for string view and just do it in place. That might work as well. Let's try that. I don't know what I'm going to do when it gets to winter and I can no longer blame my terrible code on the heat. I guess it will be too cold. Okay, that'll work. Thank you. And then I... I can replace this now, right? Because I now don't need argv. I can say if, in fact, actually, I want to do +1 u, right? Because I don't want to include the program name. I don't care about that. That's not an argument. So then I can basically say, so we'll assume that the first argument is always the path, and then everything else has to be optional. Again, I can't bother with like dash path or anything like that. We can make this so much nicer, but I really don't care. Args.size is greater than or equal to 1, then args.front. I'll just take that. That should work. In fact, actually, there's even better than that, isn't it? If not args.empty. Ooh, blimey, what the hell happened there? Found a new shortcut. I'm kind of curious why my ranges didn't work though, but problem for another day. I really don't want to spend too long doing this. Okay, so now we can go over to game, and we can basically say constant vector of the string view args. All right, well, let's just slap that right in there. Go up here, up here, up here, up here, up here. Get rid of that, get rid of that, get rid of that. Slap that in there. Okay. But now I'm going to have to write some sort of function to pull these out, which is a little bit of a pain because I need to initialize it in the initializer list. Oh, actually, though, there's an easy way of doing this, isn't there? It's true, I do own at least 2 white shirts and at least 2 pink shirts. So that's 4 shirts. So then I just have to have a 5th one Friday. So sorry, a few points here. You watch all the videos and love the streams. Thank you very much appreciated. You feel like you can't make Hello World. Your question is, how do I write so much without seeing what I've written? Like, a lot of it is just experience. I've been doing this for over a decade, so within that, if you imagine doing it 40 plus hours a week for 10 plus years, I would hope that I can visualize. It's just pattern matching, right? It's like I've solved similar problems before, so I can kind of recall the runes I need to draw in the sand to solve those. And then the rest of it, like as you've seen from the streams, I just puzzle it out. I make mistakes, I go back and I fix stuff up. It's definitely not none of this is perfect. Get x string view. Args, and then so we're going to do const auto x arg equals std ranges find args dash x. Have I got heterogeneous lookup in that? I suppose I should probably slap that in there. Const auto x index equals std ranges distance std ranges c begin args xarg. So this will tell me the index that is at, if it's there. If xarg equals just so I don't have to write it twice. Something like that. Okay, so then I'll do arg name. Oh my goodness, I don't know what this shortcut is, but it is tenacious. Arg if arg equals std range is cend of args, return 0. I just can't help myself. I have a problem. It's just C++ all around you. So I'm kind of happy to keep a reasonably narrow contract on this. Don't pass weird stuff to the game, otherwise it won't work. And then if that's a massive problem where people just cannot get the game started because they keep passing valid args, then I'll go back and tighten up. For now, this is just a convenient thing for people out there who can hopefully, maybe we'll put it in the README or something that this is what the args are, but I'm not too fussed about it. Default is indeed a keyword. Again, this is not supposed to be bulletproof. This is supposed to be just unstick the current problem so I can go and solve the rest of the problems I've got. Get that, and then I made a mistake here, because how do I convert it to T without knowing what T is? Getting a bit ahead of myself. See, look, make mistakes. I didn't see that ahead of time. I thought I had the answer, but alas, I did not. If index is less than, if index is greater than or equal to args.size, then return 0. It means someone put a dash x but they're not given the value. Hey, what are you chatting about? They're both size. Oh, that could be negative, couldn't it? Okay, that's fine. Let's do static cast std size t. I'm really not that fussed about it being negative. Solve that problem. Is size of vector and int? No, it's a size t, because it's effectively will give you something that you can put into the square bracket operator, the index operator, and size t is guaranteed to be large enough to hold any index size. So even if your array was the entire size of memory, size t is guaranteed to be big enough to hold that. So it's basically a 64-bit integer. Yeah, again, like, dealing with it here, and we'll flesh it out as needed. Like, I really don't want to spend too much time fighting around trying to figure out what the perfect solution is. Like, I cannot let the perfect be the enemy of the good, or whatever the phrase is. So then we can do turn a to I. Args index +1. No. Dot. Std string view is not guaranteed to be null terminated, although it certainly will be. What's the other way? It's no. What's the fast way of doing it? C++. There's another way of doing it. That's not a 2e. Oh, and there's S2i, isn't there? That's what I want. No. Estudestui. It needs fine, and actually I want stol, not stolly anyway. Whatever, treat ourselves to an allocation. Right, nailed it. This is ClangD, and it's the LSP is the language sofa protocol. It's the framework through which NeoVim can report errors on your code live, and then I'm using ClangD as the implementation of that for C++. I know it's not going to work, but we'll give it a go. CT that, and then so this will be get arg -x args get arg -y args. And then I think as well, if I go to, don't do that. If I go to main, I think I need to do args. I think game log info args. I think C++ is clever enough for me to do this. If I spell it right. Oh my god, I'll get it right twice. Who am I, Quacko? Sorry, couldn't help myself. There shouldn't be the possibility of out of bounds, because I check that if index is greater or equal to size, which would be out of bounds, because you can only index it up to n minus 1, right? So if index is, I think is that right? No sound. Anyone else? Or does that need to be index +1? Probably does. If index +1 is, yes, that's right. Thank you. Good spot. This is just the way I do to fake engagement. Just every now and then I'm like, can anyone hear me? And then everyone comments. It's great. User error. But thank you for generating some great comments. So yeah, I think coroutines, we're gonna have 3. I don't know what to call them. I don't really like the term systems. I think maybe tasks, although we already have a task type. I guess like game tasks might be best. 1 for the input, 1 for the game logic, which is the level, and 1 for the renderer. And we'll see what happens. Right, so if I now do this, I do indeed have an empty array. Oh, I see what someone was saying now. It means if I supply any args, I will have to supply a root path, because how else would it know? Nice. Nailed it. Assuming it loads. So this is going to be a little puzzle game. Just a quick recap for anyone who here is new. The idea is that you can move these barrels around, and they do interesting things based on your movement. So this one always moves with you, but if you stop looking at it, it doesn't move. So and you have to get it to a target. This one, it's hard to tell, but the level gets darker the further it gets away. So that's another interesting mechanic we were playing around with. And this one, I thought this was unsolvable, but someone on Discord has solved it. This has 2 barrels that move. The target, both the target and the non-target, I guess, move in opposite ways to the player at different speeds. But if you either of them touch this grey barrel, then it resets the level. And there's a few other little mechanics we've been playing around with. Nice. C++ is great. Like, just It's like Python. I just print out an array and it just prints it. I guess I should just check that works. Okay. Quit. Come on. So that hopefully makes everyone's life a little bit easier. Let's commit this up. So we're going to do commit parse command line args into vector, and then commit set window position based on args. Nailed it. What do we have in source at the moment? So I want to, where am I going to put, I think we have a game directory, don't we? Game and then levels. I might create a new subdirectory like game, like tasks. I know we already have in scheduler a task, so I don't want to overload that, but I think game tasks maybe within this, or just shove them all in game. Just have a input task. We're not going to have that many, so it probably doesn't really make much sense. But let's try and be a little bit tidier. So source, any excuse to write another CMake file. Who knows? It is. I'm gonna say this is an error contract, and it's undefined to enter any invalid values, and it's kind of up to you if you want to try and put in a negative number. Routine, input routine, render routine, gameplay level routine. Yeah, I guess because they are themselves coroutines. Remember, always under promise and over deliver. I'm not testing this. Like this is not all great points and questions. This is not a QA round. It will either work, or you'll either see the game or you won't. What equipment I'm using? Yeah, sure. Like, what can you be a little bit more specific? Routines. You have to go to Galaxy's Edge, I'm afraid. You have to go to Florida to get that. PC setup, I have a... Let's check on the temperature. Oh, it is getting toasty. I have a 10th gen Intel i9. And then I've got not enough RAM. I think I've only got 32 gig. And a 3080. So it's a little bit dated, my setup now. It's still good, but it's a little bit dated. I could definitely do with a little bit more power for streaming and editing. Yeah, it's a hungry beast. And then I've got 2 monitors. Yeah. That's about it. And then I got a Sony Alpha ZV-10 E10 Mark II for my this bit here. Yeah, the CPU is working pretty hard at the moment, and the GPU. So okay, let's do some code. Let's do e source game. Why did I make that? Ugh. Off to a bad start. Move source routines to source game routines. Slip that there. Source game routines input routine .h. So this is going to be once. This is game. And then we're going to do not that. Class input routine. So this is going to handle all the user inputs. Well, actually, let's show you what it's going to do. So let's go to game. Basically, this loop here. Nope. This loop here is going to move over to a coroutine. So it will keep pumping until there are no more events. It'd be nice if you could await on an event, but I think that might require a bit too much deep integration. I think we'll just drain the events and then say schedule me again next tick to see if there's any more. And it will need access to the message bus as well, because it's going to need to post some events. So I think we'll stick all that in there. And then the next one will be probably... I'm not sure where player update should live. I'm not sure if that should be... It probably should be a separate coroutine. So we might do that, and then the level, and then basically all this rendering gubbins. So this whole game loop, in theory, should basically collapse down to just adding a few tasks to the scheduler and starting it. That's my plan. So the interesting thing now is that we've gone quite theoretical on the coroutine so far. We've built out some abstractions, but I've not actually used them in anger. I've no idea if they're right or not. So we're going to see how good the thing we spent the last 2 streams building is. If it's a nightmare, I'm fully prepared to revert it, pretend it never happened, and continue with our lives. I mean, Lua internally has coroutines, but these are separate. These are C++ ones. This is our own scheduling system that our own artisanal, fresh from farm to plate scheduler. Exactly, yeah, so it shouldn't be too bad. Okay, right, so let's do... My only concern is that I'm not sure how well this is going to work until we've converted everything to coroutines, but we'll see. So what are we going to need? We're going to need to include messaging message bus. We're going to need hash include scheduler. We're going to need the scheduler because we have a single... I don't want a global scheduler, which means we just have to tramp it around the place. Scheduler slash task. Mario, resubbed for 5 months. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. We'll see. We'll see. Like I said, my philosophy is to only write code we need that gets us towards a game. However, this is a little bit self-indulgent. I did not need to add coroutines. I just really wanted to play around with them. So, what's a few out of what's going to be probably about 100 streams? What's a few here and there on something fun? Okay, so input routine. Oh, actually, I'm probably going to need access to the window as well, right? This is because this is fundamental. So basically, the game object will initialize everything and then just hand out references or pointers or whatever to the various routine parts. Window. So input routine will have a... Can it be const? I know, I think it mutates states, doesn't it? Oh, pump event is const. Nice. Const window, and then we're going to want a message bus. I think that's all we... Oh, and then we need the scheduler. And then input routine. Const input routine equals delete auto input routine const input routine input routine equals delete. What am I doing? It's not right at all, is it? Do I want to make it movable? Can it be movable? It's going to store references, so it can't be move assignable, but I guess it could be move copy. It could be move constructible. Okay, got that in the end. Give it a window. To the window, to the wall, give it a bus, and give it a scheduler. And then I should be able to have something like auto create task. So that will then construct the coroutine object, which our task says is initially suspended, goes into the scheduler picks it up and handles it from there. Oof, nailed it. Would one separate thread work instead of implementing? So I mean, anything can work. I'm trying to avoid multi-threaded because I don't think we need that at the moment, and threading is not free. There's always the possibility of data races and deadlocks, and there's optimization issues around potentially full sharing and all this kind of gubbins. So I am but I want to have a better way of handling tasks just on a single thread. So that's why I've chosen to use coroutines, because I can just suspend stuff when I don't need it, when it doesn't need to run, and resume it when it does. That being said, potentially the scheduler class that we wrote could exist across multiple threads, and then you just post stuff to some sort of broker, and then that farms it out to whichever thread has like scheduler with like the lowest current workload, and then you can do like work stealing and all sorts of stuff like that. So potentially it could scale up to that, but I just don't think we need it now. Never understood why private variables methods are important in this sort of thing. It's not like this is a library. I mean, it's still code that I'm writing and consuming, so I want to make sure that partly is to make sure I don't make mistakes. It forces me to think about the interface of the objects, so they are less likely to be misused, or it's accidentally misused, right? So I want RAI and all my stuff. I want, correct by construction. There's certain things that I want that make my life easier, and I consider having the simplest and weakest powerful API that is needed at the time is one of the goals that I'm kind of striving for. So yeah, I mean, you could always just make everything public, but I think that would lead to much harder to reason about code. At least this way, there's a gateway that I have to go through to interface with the object, which I've written and I kind of can reason about, and then you can put breakpoints on it and logging and that kind of thing. So I think it's just good practice to architect code how you would want to consume it, even if you are the one also writing it. I mean, obviously cannot give you any advice on how to write malware or exploits. That would not be right. I would say just like learn systems languages and Windows and OS internals if you're interested in that kind of thing, but I cannot give you any more advice other than everything you've just said. Okay, so now we should be able to go source game routines, input routine CPP, input routine. Right, so hash So let's bring ourselves in the routine input routine.h and namespace game, and then one of these. Gonna want some of this, some of this, some of that, the other. Bring that in there, and then I'm absolutely gonna definitely need coroutine for this, so I can co-await. Although I'll probably just co-return to start with, just to get it compiling. Window, boost, scheduler. Okay, nailed it. Sure as a constructor. So all this will go away when I build it and fix up my terrible tooling. And the other thing I want is one of these. Bring this over, snap that in there, bring in input routine, colon, and then we'll just do co-return, which will make it a coroutine. Okay, so let's get out of this, sack this off, copy source utils. Stop. Copy source to source game routines. Now I can't remember if with the nested CMake files, if I just include them all from the top level source CMake, or if I do it via the parent. Looks like I do it via the parent. Source game CMake. Yeah, here you go. Stop that in there. Not like that. Not like that. Not like that. Not probably something like that. And then source game routine CMake. This is just going to have input routine .cp. Okay, let's just get this a blending, and then that will regenerate the compile command CMake JSON file. That'll allow my tooling to pick it up, and then Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt. We'll be off to the races. So Dep, hello, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you found the videos interesting. I get this quite a lot, which I think is absolutely fascinating. I think people just enjoy the storytelling side of it, even if they don't necessarily kind of grok all the technical details. It's a very hard balance to strike when writing videos, because I want to be entertaining and engaging and accessible, but also kind of scratch the itch of being quite low level. So it's a storytelling technique I'm still figuring out and developing, but I guess the fact that you are here and you found it enjoyable means I'm hopefully on the right path. Any jokes about engineers or for engineers? Like, I don't know. I guess a good joke would be my miserable setup. That's always a good one. I've been using Vim since university, so I've been using it again for over 10 years, so I'm kind of Stockholm syndromed into it. Bleh. Does it really not? Do I really not have to? Okay, fine. If you say so. I've not tried Helix. I'm quite happy with my setup. I'm not looking for anything more or better or different at the moment. So That doesn't mean, so it's interesting. I'm a big proponent of like mastering your tools and always looking to improve your workflow and, you know, make your life a little bit easier. But that being said, I'm kind of happy with what I've got at the moment, and I think I'd rather continue tweaking this. But yeah, I've not tried it. I'm using, for better or worse, MSVC through Wine. What is this? Did anyone else see that? Is that some phantom character? I was just saying those things about NeoVim, and it's like, here, have some random Unicode characters. Indeed, Notepad. No syntax highlighting. And also, doesn't Notepad have Copilot now? So aren't you basically set? You can vibe code all day in Notepad. Okay, so what's this going to look like? This is going to have to take basically. Notepad has tabs now as well, which is exciting. Let's take all this and do. Let's be assertive. Let's delete it and move it over to here. So running is now going to be auto running equals true. I don't need this anymore, right? We'll keep pumping events, and we'll do what I'm going to. So basically, most coroutines have to boil down to some sort of infinite loop that you suspend. So we'll keep looping. And then at the end of the once all these are gone, we will spider bros back. Oh, two of them. Jesus, so many spiders. Why is this? The spiders. My mic is full of spiders. I'm a little bit concerned at the. No, I'm joking. There's no spiders in here. No, I should have muted, but then you wouldn't have been here for the full experience. Apologies. Apologies. Scheduler wait. So this then becomes co-await wait scheduler 1U. Okay, so this basically says please reschedule me at the end of the next frame. And then this becomes this, and then this becomes this, and then actually I guess, yeah, I should probably keep that as I'm running so we don't keep pumping events after we've stopped. That's basically it. It's just everything's just going to be as is, but just with basically an extra infinite loop. You don't need a special keyword for throw. You just throw, and the machinery catches it for you. We did all this last time. There's unhandled exception, and then you get an exception pointer, and then you rethrow it at a time that is suitable for you. I believe you don't need a co-return if there's already a co-await, because the end of the function will naturally co-return for you. You only need it if you want to early exit, or you have no other co-functions in there. So we shouldn't need a co-return at the end. No, I think that's fine. Like while it's running, if anything here says I'm no longer running, then I don't want to process any more events. I just want to be done. So I think that's fine. Let's see if we can integrate this. Let's just have a few more includes in here because I don't think we've quite got enough yet. I should go through and tidy some of these up. Scheduler, and include game routines. I bet I needed fully qualified game routines. That's why the header file was been, quite frankly, a bit of a dick. So before we set all this up, blah, 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 we'll load all the resources. Then right at the end, we'll do auto scheduler equals scheduler. No arguments yet. And then after this, we will do because run becomes an infinite loop. So yeah, we can't. There's nothing we can do yet because I can do scheduler dot add input routine window bus scheduler dot hang on, no. Okay, no, I need to auto input routine equals input routine window plus scheduler. Sure, that's what I meant. And then I add to this input routine dot create task. Okay. Then the problem is now is I have to do scheduler dot run, which will start an infinite loop. So I'm gonna have to put out all of these. So it's gonna be a big bang change this. It's either gonna, it all has to work or none of it's gonna work because I can never progress past run because run starts the scheduler event loop basically. Oh, I see what you mean. Have I made a mistake? Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, if not running, code return. I think that's what you meant. So we don't reschedule ourselves. Yes, because then we would have to wait to get to the next loop. Okay, yes, good point. Yeah, good numbers. 150 people watching across both platforms. Thank you very much. Hope everyone's enjoying themselves. Good time to join in as I desperately try to justify the design decisions I made over the last two streams. Yeah, we'll leave that in there for now. I don't think it... actually, I guess that is semantically clear, isn't it? If we are running, schedule the next one. Yeah, I do prefer that. Okay. It is a little bit a shame that they standardized co_underscore rather than just await and yield. I guess you would have to have something different for return. Do co-join the Discord, yeah. I mean, this is just how you say, this is how you say you schedule in the UK, isn't it? It's not hard to see, I'm afraid. Oh, is Nightbot having a fit? So that fix it live. Add to chat. YouTube. This is why I accidentally reveal all my passwords. I hope this is what everyone tuned in for, is me to debug my terrible streaming setup. Confirm whether it's me. It sure is me. Like, I've got my phone here and everything. I think YouTube signed. YouTube consistently thinks that I have suspicious activity on my account. I think it's the Stream Deck is tripping up something. I think it constantly tries to do something, and then every now and then it's just like, I'm going to sign everything out. Try again now. This is just a way of me fudging the engagement again. Commands. It's definitely there and it's definitely enabled, so oh, here you go. I need to connect it. It's doing disconnect from the channel. Okay, fine. Let's try that. Okay, that's there. Okay, I better work now. Nightbot is on strike. Yeah, someone can just copy and paste the link. I'll fix it later. Okay, let's keep adding more routines. So I guess the next one is to kind of figure out where this little bit of logic is going to go. Indeed. Well, we all hate Nightbot. It's hot. Right. I think level 1 should be quite easy because it's going to be this function and this logic here. I mean, if you have Prime, you can always subscribe on Twitch with that and get the ads. I can't help you on YouTube. Okay, let's do... source game routines level routine.h. And just like all good code, we'll copy it from somewhere that we think works. Input with game. What's this going to need access to? This is going to need access to a level, and so it doesn't need the player. I think it might need the message bus. Although actually, well, possibly not, because it's going to have a non-owning kind of view over this. It's just going to call update and some other bits and pieces. Or is this going to own the level? So hang on, here's the question. Here's the question. Whoa, no, bus back. I want the, is it Firebot, the self-hosted one? But it just doesn't support YouTube yet. When it does, I'm gonna throw Nightbot into the sea and host a local one. Because what I think would be really cool is to have like a command which is lines of code, which automatically maybe shells out a command locally to grab the lines of code and then prints it. I think that might be quite fun. Oh, it's just an idea that I've had. I don't know the specifics of it. I thought it would be fun to have a play around with. No, you have to suffer through the typos like I do. Okay, I'm a little bit. I'm worried I've backed myself into a corner here slightly. So let's take. Wow, we fixed some Firebot. Sorry, Nightbot. Like 20 people left off YouTube, so I do apologise to them. Obviously, it was not what you were looking for. So my concern now is that I basically have to have an infinite loop that I can schedule myself onto the next frame or frames or whatever with. So in the game, in the level class that we've already got, that would call update, and we could basically say in infinite loop call update. The issue, and that could easily go here. The issue is, where does the logic go for advancing the level? Because we have to recreate the level object. As part of this. But for the renderer, we need this. Although I guess the level could do that. It feels a little bit gross. I'd rather the renderer was responsible for setting the visibility, but I don't see inherently a problem with moving. Basically, I think we're going to have to move all this into the coroutine. And then this into the renderer one. I might just keep the player one in the level one for now. Yeah, I will pass the level. No, but the problem very specifically with the level is that I need to be able to reseat it from within. So I could pass a reference to a unique pointer, but that seems gross. I could use a shared pointer, but that's wrong. It is weird, but I in this current architecture I cannot see where it would. I mean, in fact, no, that's the point. The renderer wouldn't need to know about the level. The level would need to know about the renderer, which I don't know if that's better or worse. The issue is that maybe it'll be easier when I start going through it. Is that this code here reallocates a new level when it advances. Okay, we had a load of lifetime issues before, so I basically said only one level can exist at once due to some internal misery with the physics engine. So when you come to load a new level, you delete the old one and construct a new one. That's fine. That can live locally within the routine. The specific issue is this code here. I need to update the visibility of it, and I thought that would be part of the renderer. But actually, I think I'm overcomplicating this. I think this just lifts and shifts straight over. Let's write some code, and we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out live. Level routine. Okay, so we've got this. Got this. I guess the question is, what do I need? And there's no reason I couldn't expose this outside, actually. So yeah, let's sack all this off. We probably still need the message bus. We definitely need the scheduler. Okay. I've had an thought. Level. Really? Oh, it needs. Why does that need to be fully qualified, but the rest don't? I'm missing a include directory somewhere. Fix that in a minute. And by a minute, I mean probably never. I just think like maybe we need to refactor and use like the visitor pattern later. I'm a big fan of the visitor pattern, but I think for now, these classes are only constructed once and then used for the lifetime of the game. So there's, I think, I'm not a big fan of storing references in classes. I agree. I think this is fine in this case for what my kind of I'm envisioning we're going to do. If it's all a mistake, we'll just fix it. So I think this could own the unique pointer for the Lua level, right? Okay. And then I think this also have a player. Oh no, that is right. Sorry, I'm getting confused. No, those headers are right. I was having a funny 5 minutes. So we don't need that. We need that, and then we should have a player. Okay. Might as well have the player owned. Could this own the player? Actually, to be honest, there's no reason why. What do you need to construct a player? You need the bus and the camera. Is this the issue where the player ends up owning the camera? Yeah. This is the slightly messier side of all this. Where do I create the player? It was there, and it's the bus, and it has a create camera from the window. And then I just use it in this logic, and then expose it there. So again, I think I can just, I think we can go back to actually having the window. Indeed, yes. We made some questionable decisions as we've gone along, and I'm now fully prepared to pay the price for all of them. I don't need an ECS. Absolutely do not. Okay, right. So from there, the window, the bus, the scheduler, we can construct our own player. Okay. And then from here, we can do auto player const player. And then we can do auto level equals const lower level like that. Those could probably be const as well. Okay, so that's not too bad. Because in the game we have to, in the game object, we have to allocate these first, so we can then pull out other bits to do some of the other wiring up. So I think this is fine. I think this is fine. I have low level of stress around this. Source, source, game, routines, level routines CP, and then input routines. Start that in there, gets going. Q to then S. Change that for that and that. And then what was that? 60? Okay. So over in game, oh, someone subscribed on Twitch. Thank you very much. I can't see your name's not popped up yet, but thank you very much. More to. I mean, there's lots of things we can do, right? There's loads of improvements. There's loads of things like decisions we started off that either are not correct, were not correct now, or certainly weren't correct then. I appreciate all the suggestions, but at some point, like, I just kind of have to suck up the mistakes I've made or the decisions I've opted for and keep going. Card. Thank you. Yes. Why have I? Good spot. Okay, it's a little bit better. So how do I construct a player in... This is going to be a horrific commit at the end of this. So I want one of these. Oh, so I need to change the initialization order actually, don't I? So player should be initialized after I've stored the message bus off. It doesn't really make any difference because I could just use the local version, but I prefer to use the members where possible. So get rid of that, make that a thing. Bus scheduler player, bus create camera window. Create camera comes from here. I probably want to give myself some numbers. Big fan of numbers. I've used a lot of them, not all of them. Okay, and then level becomes I do not know. That's a new one for me, I'm afraid. So the level is going to be something like this. Get rid of that. Oh, I'm going to have to store a reference to window, aren't I? So I can set the title. Just seeing all the issues come before me. Okay, and then back to game, and then we've got a list of levels somewhere. I'm just gonna yoink those out because we don't need that. We can. I feel like those can just. I don't need those to be members, right? And just. Stirred levels equals. Is it level names? Level names. Third vector. And then correct, yes. Window cannot be const if I'm changing the names. And get rid of that. And get rid of that. This handle level complete might actually be able to shift over to the level routine because we're basically just abstracting it all out. Although actually, I bet it is set title. I think set title is const because it just calls a Windows API. It doesn't mutate the state of the. Yeah, set title. Oh, my big dome's in the way. Hang on. Set title is const because it just. Oh, don't want to delete that. It just uses the Windows 82 API. It doesn't mutate into its own state. Sorry, not to the mic there. Just to make sure everyone's still awake. So we do have an event bus, event system. It's kind of quite fledgling at the moment. I'm slowly moving stuff over to it. So yeah, we could probably adjust that at some point. But I'm not quite there yet. And we don't have a game manager yet. I guess game could become the game manager. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Okay, so level is that. Level is that. I want to try and get this building in a minute so I can update my tooling because this is getting a little bit gross. Player needs something like that. Here are that. It can't be equals, can it? Obviously not. Oh, Jesus. Okay. Oh, I've got to pass in the resource cache and the reader. Okay, fine. No, it's fine. It's fine. Resource cache and the TLV reader, and then this becomes resource. I think it's const resource cache. Oh no, is it default cache because of all the templating horror that goes on inside it. It's default cache. Resource cache. And const TLV reader. Take those two, go over to level. Sorry, this is a little bit painful today. Just a lot of refactoring. Resource cache, which has the alias for the default cache, and then TLV reader. So at the moment, the bus does no deduplication. It's down to the individual subscribers to manage that. What I would potentially like to do, so at the moment, when you fan out, when you broadcast a message on the bus, every handler instantly responds to it, which I think, one, could end up in infinite loops, and two, I think is a little bit harder to reason about. What I would like to maybe do in the future is have every subscriber have their own queue that they are responsible for putting that into, so they can then do their own deduplication. So for instance, if you get two play audio messages very close to each other, it might be like, I've already got that in the queue, so I'm not going to play it twice. And then on its update loop, so effectively when its coroutine is resumed, it's then responsible for going through its queued up messages. I feel like that might make things a little bit more reasonable, but I'm not there yet, and it's a bit more boilerplate. Indeed. Routine. Okay. So that's that. That's that. So now game's going to be unhappy because a lot of this I've kind of taken away from it. Let's do. Just. I just don't want to move. I want to just get this building first, and then I'll go back and patch all this out as when we need. Bring this all across. Oh, steady. Sorry, it's quite a lot of messages today. I'm doing my best to keep up with them. Apologies if I've missed anything. Get rid of player. Get rid of player. No, the only sound is just the sound of despair that I make when this happens, but there's nothing in the game yet. I don't think we need anything that fancy. I think I just need the sound of a barrel scraping across the floor and some sort of fanfare at the end when you win. Hello, hello, hello. Okay. Okay. I don't think I know what that means, but thank you. Oh, God, it's hot. Looking good. We're linking. Basically done. I've never played Five Nights at Freddy's. I'm aware of it and the general concept of it. I've just never played it. I'm not sure I understand the question by what standard. I assume you want version. So 20, 23, 26, it'll be the latest and greatest, whatever I can use. So in MSVC, it's /std:/C++ latest. So just whatever I can get hold of. Okay, so let's go back to the level routine. Hopefully, a lot of these red lines will now, boom, disappear. What? Built, didn't it? Am I going mad? Thank you. Oh. I know I don't need to. Fine, I mean, I'll give it to you, but with CTAD, I don't need to. But if you're going to be all like that, then sure. I suppose it would probably reduce that to const char star anyway. You know what? You know what? Helps if I build it. Now it's going to be all the fun errors. Yes, I need to build it. I need to save the file. I need to write the code without any typos or errors or bugs. I then need to remember to save the file. I then need to build the file. Bleh. Oh, it is complaining about this. What have I done wrong? Oh, I see the issue. I have indeed already included it. Right, let's get there. Let's do this. I'm feeling confident. Kind of surprised that didn't evaluate to a constant, but we can do using namespace. Nope, not. We got a real problem if we need std launder. Sub objects point to memory. That was yes. I mean that's the point. You can do that in context for now. I don't. I mean, I'll make it non-context if I have to. I just feel like it's cheating. Yeah. I wonder if string view can't be. Yeah, I bet it can't have string views. Because what would the pointer point to at context for time? Yeah, okay, fine. I'll let it have that. Yes, move doesn't move and forward doesn't forward. Nope, okay, it still doesn't like it. Turns out I have no idea what I'm doing. Who cares? Not too bad. Where's the actual line of code with the error? 56. There it is. Just snuck in there amongst all the MSVC code that I literally do not care about. Okay, what have I? Lua level. What's this expecting? It wants the resource cache to be non-const. Okay, if you say so, I'm sure I'll believe you. It's right. It's just a large refactor is always painful because there's just lots of moving parts, and inevitably it won't work at the end. I appreciate the moral support. I mean, there's no way that's gonna. Okay, fine. I'm as shocked and surprised as you all are. Right. Okay. Now I can update my terrible tooling, and all the reds should disappear. Nailed it. Okay. Right. So now you're new. I think you mean numbers, mate. Probably should include string. Dan, hello. I'm not. I want everyone to be under no illusion. I'm not a game dev. I'm a aspirational hobbyist. It's true. Some say he's more aggressive with the banhammer than Nightbot. Okay, well this worked. Well, I mean, worked. Compiled. Let's resurrect all this code that I just removed because I didn't want to deal with it. So 1G. Okay, bring it across here, and then slap that in here, and then we're going to do 4. whilst all the infinity do this. So I need to resurrect some more state, and then co-await, wait, scheduler 1u. Okay. So update the level every tick and then reschedule ourselves at the beginning of the next tick. That should be fine. We need a way of exiting out of this, which means we're going to have to subscribe to the stop event, because that's the only way we're going to be able to tell it's going to happen. I'm kind of putting that off for a little bit. Don't make sure I don't forget. Need to store resource cache. Yes. What I'm trying to say is I don't want people to confuse me with an expert in this. Like, I'm very much figuring this out as I go along. I've never worked in the industry. Like I said, I'm very much making this up as I go along. Default cache. And const tlb reader. We're probably going to want something on the end of that. And then, not that. And then my, see the def, because that's where that's hiding. I appreciate all the positive affirmations. Thank you very much. There is gameplay, like, and it's on GitHub. I need to add a gitbot command for that. But if you go to the Discord, then there is indeed a channel there where you can find it and play around with it. And I do a release at the end of every stream and push it up to GitHub, and then that links back to Discord. So if you want to play around with it, please do. Okay, so level routine. Let's fill in some blanks. So we have window, bus, scheduler, player, resource cache, reader. I've not been consistent with my initialization here as well, so it's just try and be just try and be a little bit better. Oh, it's painful. And then level num 0u. And actually, I want to bring that up to above the level, and then I can do level num, and then bring that up after the level. Okay. I don't know if that question was at me, but I've never used Unreal before, so I have zero opinion on it. Why do I track current num separately? What was the logic behind that? Why? What was the logic behind that? Why do I have current level and a level num. Oh, is it so I can see if it's advanced? Because this is local, isn't it? So you do auto current level equal, that's it. And then if it's that, then I can do all this gubbins. Level equals that. Level names equals that. Read it that. This, that, and the other. This, that, and the other. If I got my error class, error handling class in here. Error, transitive include, solve that problem now. Then I need my the classic. The thing that took us probably two streams to write. And then another stream to debug. Slap that in there. Going to be missing a bunch of includes, I'm sure. End game. Where the hell is transform shape when it's at home? Physics, obviously. Where else would you have it? And hash include. Do I have a maths directory yet, or is that just in the open source one? Restaurant plane. Windows set title. I want to remove level names as well eventually. I think the Lua script should own its own name, and then you can just query it for that. Yeah, no worries. Thanks for coming on, and hope you enjoy it. Hope you enjoyed it. Right. What am I doing in my life? I think that's largely it. Go back to game. So we need to rewire this in. That's fine. So now we can do a few more. I'm gonna have to go through and clean up these includes later because it's absolutely outrageous now. Remind me, clean up includes. So what do I want from... It's not even game routine, is it? Is it level routine? It's level routine, okay. Auto level routine equals level routine, and then this I'm gonna just shove everything into. Big old grab bag of stuff. Okay, we're getting there. Obviously, the problem we have now is that this has no way of exiting. So this, and the scheduler ends when all tasks are completed. So this game will just spin. If we even get it that far, it will spin indefinitely. Ah, yes, gift subs. Thank you very much. Go for a little bit longer. I want to try and get this done. Right, I must remember to connect the includes. Good one, chaps. Okay, so now that's in there. Let's quickly, super quickly, in and out. Quick change. 2 minutes. Subscribe ourselves to the level end message. So messaging, subscriber, how does any of this work? Nope, this is the wrong place. Level routine. Slap that in there, and then this can inherit from public subscriber. Okay. Oh, that's not where it goes. That's not C++. What a fool. Yeah, I got it. Don't worry. I'm gonna keep blaming the heat for my absolute lack of an understanding of what I'm doing. That would be funny if different constructors could have different inheritance hierarchies. It's a suggestion for Haran's language. What's the magical rune I need to subscribe myself to something? It's this one, isn't it? So level complete. So subscribe myself to that, and then I'm gonna need to take this. Oh, I think this is the whole game now. No longer. I'll keep it as a subscriber for now, but I don't think it needs to do anything. Level routine. Okay, and then so this becomes game, and then get down to here, take this. Emery, 12-month member on YouTube. That's crazy. Thank you so much. Unbelievable. I did not think after this amount of time people would still be listening to me prattle on. Oh, it's that kind of language, is it? I'm out. If I can't have a abstract factory abstract of a type, I'm not interested. I don't want this here at all. This is totally the wrong. This is the wrong file. Okay, right. So that should there now. So now I also that's for the level complete, isn't it? I also need the level routine handler for the auto handle. What's it called when it's at home? Oh, do I not have handle exit? What does the input handler raise then, or publish? Ugh, just the key press. Gosh. Oh. This refactor is deep, 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 deep. Well, I mean, like, I can't ignore this now that I know it's not there. So this would be quit. So basically the escape key or the caps lock key in my case, because I've swapped caps lock and escape, but or eventually clicking the window X, which isn't properly wired up yet. So this needs to post quit. Message bus. Man, this is gross. Oh, I'm gonna try not to introduce the same bug I did last time when I copy and pasted it and forgot to change the message ID. Sorry, I know my mug's in the way. There we go. Quit and then quit, and then that'll be handle quit, which we don't have yet, but we can go to subscriber and then we can do handle quit. Okay, right. Now, back to the level routine. We can now handle quit. Oh my goodness, I'll get the arrow in a minute. Okay. So this should have a all running. Okay, and then level routine. Too many levels. Too much stuff going on. Cannot cope. Level routine. Handle quit. Void. And this will be what? Running equals false. So now I get to say goodbye to my favorite infinite loop. And this should have running true. You have to do the same thing for the render as well. Whew. Some pop-ups have been working as far as I can tell. Did I just miss it? I haven't got anything in the chat. The tool I use to combine YouTube and Twitch chats also has those kind of events as well, and I can't see it in there. I mean, everyone's got a favorite, right? Everyone's got their favorite way of constructing an infinite loop. Mine's just 4 semicolon, semicolon. All right, okay, and now before I forget, I would posit that the only way this could be true is if someone has told us to quit. So I think I can do bus dot post quit there. I'm slowly losing the plot here. So level routine now, I think it's done. That will be wired up. That will handle the levels. That will do that. This, that. So the question now is as deep as it needs to be. I have no upper limit or lower limit. Yes, there is a cold beer in the fridge waiting for me. That is true. I'm happy to stream a little bit later tonight because I would normally end about now, but I really want to try and get this refactor tidied up. So let's there's people here having fun. Let's keep going. Fuck. Link error. What have I forgotten to implement? This is back in the game now, isn't it? Why is that? Should be fine. It's saying game handle level complete as an unresolved symbol from the resource packer. Why does it care? Eh? I mean, Mean Girls is an incredible film, so I do fully understand your need to leave and watch that. I mean, just what a ephemeral transitive linker error. Thanks C++, I guess. Not that I'm grumpy at all, but that was outrageous. I think own it. It's a great film. Always blame the tool. That'd be me. That would be me, by the way. Okay, right. So that builds, so it's clearly going to work. So we don't have to worry about that. The next thing is all this rendering gubbins needs to move over. So this goes. Right. One more routine. To input routine, go vs source game routines render routine. I kind of like this as a design because it means the renderer is totally abstracted away from the driving of the renderer. So it's like I will render a frame for you, and then how you choose to kind of construct that is separate, which I quite like. Same as like the level logic now is contained in Lua level.cpp. It's relevant to it how often it's run. So I do kind of like this design. I'm obviously biased, but right, so if I can name this right this time, so I have to go back and change this. Input for render. So what's this actually going to need? It's going to need the... Indeed, yes. It's a great word. There is a very niche humor for crossover between Git commands and Mean Girls, and it's very rare it happens, but when it does, it is something beautiful. This just needs access to the player and the level, which means I think all it really needs then is the input routine. Sorry, the level routine, because I've already exposed those. So we can sack a lot of this off. It doesn't need the message bus, it does need the scheduler, it doesn't need the task, it doesn't need that. So then this just becomes const input routine. Input routine. This all stays the same, this stays the same, and then we have a steady, overzealous there. It's a good takeaway. Yes, good point. It does. Oh, right, let's go back. It needs the bus. It needs the scheduler. All it does is not need. All it doesn't need is window, and that should become level routine, and become level routine, and then this here. This is actually a lot easier than I thought. Then this becomes level routine. It needs the window to swap. Oh, it needs everything. Can you please stop pointing out all my mistakes? No, please do. It's a good point. Right. I'm going to start again. This routine needs everything that the input routine does, as well as access to the level routine. It's fine. Maybe I won't be putting this stream on my CV. Just personal convention. It's just something I've always done and I kind of stuck with. There's probably no need to, because it's with the tooling and stuff, it should be reasonably obvious what a private member is. But I guess it's out of habit. I've done it. Okay. Key source game routines render routine dot cpp. Oh god, we actually have to construct the renderer, aren't we? That's just something thought that. How does one construct the renderer? It needs the reader and the mesh loader. Oh, could just pass it in. Just pass it in. It should own it. I will do it. I will do it properly. Input routine. Render routine. This is all very much the same. And now hash include game routines. Level routine. Concept level routine, level routine. Okay, right. I'm getting it. I can feel it. Because the level routine owns all the level stuff. So I don't see why the render routine wouldn't own the renderer stuff. In the grand scheme of things, it probably doesn't make any difference, but I really want to get this done. So that's going to own that. That's going to be this, that, and the other. And then CMake routines. Render routine. Just get that, check that all is working. Then we'll wire that up. We'll build the renderer. We'll dependency inject the gubbins we need. We'll build the renderer. We'll add those 2 lines. We'll wire in the quit event. We'll add the tasks. It won't work, and I will go to bed grumpy. Okay, right. So let's bring over the game logic. So we're going to want that. And then we're going to want that. And then FP becomes level routine dot player dot camera, and can I dot that? I can. And then this becomes level routine dot level. And then obviously I need the renderer, and then this is going to be for steady. So what it'll do is it'll render the frame, it'll swap the buffers, and then it'll be like await wait scheduler. Oh, Jesus, not what any of that is. Scheduler 1 U. Yeah, no, I just said I'm gonna put that in a minute. Does the mesh data come from the reader, so I can construct that in the routine too? Possibly. I'm kind of happy just because a couple of things use the resource cache. I'm just gonna have the game be responsible for setting it up, and then everything kind of just uses it. Game routines, render routine. So auto render routine equals render routine level routine, and then it's basically window. I feel like this could potentially be an abstract class with all the stuff that it needs, but for now, we'll leave it as is. So render routine dot create task. I think this is nice now. So the whole thing boils down to a bunch of setup, creates a bunch of setup, right? Create some tasks, run the scheduler if it works. I need to move the renderer over to here, so let's take that out. Renderer's going to go somewhere like here. Graphics renderer, and then hash include graphics shape, the classic shape wireframe renderer, obviously. And that's an easy one to do. That comes up to here. Obviously, I need to put them into the header file. Okay. Just thinking of all the things I need to do as I go along. So message bus subscriber. I'll do that in a second. I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's add the extra missing classes first. So after scheduler, we should have. Oh, hang on. Let's add these here. Resource cache and hash include TLV reader. And then this will have here a default cache resource cache, and then it will have a const TLV reader. I don't think I need to persist those as members because I don't think they're used anywhere else for now. And then render routine, slap those in. Slap those in here. Obviously, I need those two includes. Include resource cache and include. Sorry. Forgot where I was for a second there. Okay. Then we just need to. Whoa. Oh shoot, it's the mesh loader, not the resource cache. Oh, is this what you're saying? Is this what you were saying? That the mesh loader is just... Did I misunderstand what you're saying? Mesh loader just comes... we do need it there, though. For the floor. So I will just inject that in and keep it consistent. Include graphics mesh loader. I think that can be const. So I need the read. I don't need the resource cache. I need const mesh loader. And then I need to actually add these other types in, don't I? So we're getting there. I can feel it. I can feel it. Graphics renderer include graphics shape renderer. Then at the end of here, we're just going to tuck in a renderer and a shape wireframe renderer. Yeah, that's true. It is absurdly warm. How's my PC doing? More importantly. Ooh, we're getting hot on the PC. I just saw 75 pop up. It's the fan running. Oh, it's pumping out some heat. Oh, it is warm under the desk. Okay. The best way, it's very hard to give advice around this because the best way to get better at any language, you just need to write lots of code. But the more code you write, just the better you will get. And then also there's kind of this idea that you need to, if you're not in like a professional environment or you don't have people who can give you advice directly, then you kind of have to figure out some sort of self-reflection process where you write some code, you go away and you come back and then you sort of go, what did I like? What did I not like? What was difficult? What was easy? What did I have to copy? What did I have to, chat GPT, and then throw it away and write it again based on those lessons, and then keep doing on that to get bored and then do another project. No matching constructor for initialization of render. Oh, bet it's not const. Gosh darn it. It could have given me a little bit more information there. I was like, oh, I don't like this. Wireframe renderer. Okay. What is it about this argument? What have I done wrong? Const. Because the scene's mutable. Don't like it, but I will allow it. Have I even implemented these yet? That's not what I wanted. Why is it in a tiny little window by itself? What? Why am I still vimming underneath this? Thanks. I guess. How strange. Right. And then return level start level, because it's a unique pointer, isn't it? Dereference that. Hope it's not null. I think it needs a non-const mesh loader. I think that was the issue. Okay, so now the last thing to do is take this and go to level routine. Nope. Render routine. Okay. Get rid of that. Messaging subscriber. And then do public subscriber. Auto handle quit. Void override. Full running. Back starting to hurt as well. Who said standing desk was a good idea? I do like how a lot of these streams do end up in like a mad dash writing code at the end. Subscriber. Nope. Is it? What was the runes for this? I literally just had it here. Bus.subscribe, that's it. Okay. That's right, it's not a pointer. You are not wrong. 1,200 followers on Twitch. Exciting. Thank you very much, everyone. I'm not. So I'm going to abstain from answering this question because I'm not a lawyer, so I cannot give you, in good faith, advice on licenses. You'll have to, unfortunately, either pay a lawyer or do your own diligence and accept that risk. And I don't mean to be mean. I'm just not going to stand up here in front of over 100 people and say you should do X, Y, Z when it comes to legal matters. I do apologize. Handle quit. Void. Running equals false. Okay. This will work. There's no reason it shouldn't, other than literally everything we've changed. This. Don't I owe this some more things? What was it? The mesh loader and the not the resource cache. It was the reader. It's just from the heat. I'm sweating like I'm absolutely gross. There is absolutely no way that worked first time. It is impossible. I must have run an old build. I refuse to believe that massive refactor just worked first time. That is outrageous. Like, absolutely outrageous. Ah, yeah, I knew there was a bug. Sure does not like that. Oh, I also can't quit it. I knew that had to be an issue. I knew it was too good to be true. Let's end this task. I still got some tests running. Okay, no, it's just been silly. Oh, that killed my whole WSL instance. Well, I think that's a good time to end. Hang on, CD projects game tmux. Oh, can I just do tmux A? And bring it back. Nice, the power of tmux. Bring that back. I'm gonna commit this up. I'm gonna save that bug for next time. But let's commit some of this up, and I'll do a build and release it just for prosperity's sake. Although I'm not expecting anyone to use it, but it is worth kind of figuring it out, and then at least it's kind of snapshot in time. Okay, so that's what do we have? We had add quit message. That's a nice easy one. What is going on here? Is that just a white space change? I'm really not that fussed, to be honest. I'll probably just scrap that. Okay, so let's... Okay, so let's... add some of this. So can we add input routine? Add level routine, add render routine, refactor code into routines. Broken. Stream 61. Push into the git hole. Okay, let's do... I'll run the release script anyway. Whether I upload it or not, I don't know, but it's worth just kind of doing a fresh build of it and running all the tests anyway. Oh, I mustn't forget, for those of you on YouTube, show chat. Where is it? Where's the button? I think a very valid question. Probably a little bit too late now to go through it, but do show up to the next stream and I'm happy to go over what coroutines are, or I can discuss it on the Discord now. But they're effectively functions that you can pause and resume the execution of. YouTube kindly allows me to gift 10 YouTube membership a month, like 1 month memberships per month. So I've just done in blocks of 5, so I've just done the last 5 for this month. So congratulations to the following people. There's a 3 months access to the YouTube membership. Enjoy. Do come along to Discord because there's an extra room in there and you get early access to videos and a few behind the scenes contents and bits and pieces. But basically everything I do, I try and do for free for everyone. So if you can support and you want to, that's great. But ultimately you're not missing out because eventually everything comes that way anyway. Unfortunately, you did just join at the end. I do apologise. You weren't to know. I have streamed for a little bit longer than I normally would anyway, but we do have an interesting bug to try and fix next time, so that's going to be fun. And then, oh, my CPU is absolutely, it's gone yellow. It's going 84 degrees now. I really must. You can't see it because I've got it on the mini screen. Sorry, but it's gone. Some of the CPUs are now 89C. I'm going to call it there. I am hot and sweaty and exhausted, but I had a great time. I hope everyone did too. And thank you for coming along and keeping me company as I write all this code. And I will see you all Wednesday. We will do this all again. Indeed, I need to probably switch the PC off or at least step out of here. But I will catch you all anon.